Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for joining us here on a Saturday night pregame. I messed up. Sorry, Chris. Should let you have that one. That was on me, baby.
I'm done with you. Done with you. You always got to be the first one to talk or say something.
You know what? You're right. That was on me. I apologize.
Animosity.
Yeah, this is going to be a contentious. Oh, and there's the pup.
The pup wants
to be out. So we're at Joe's place. So the pup is up. He's not on the loose. There's going to be I know, is contentious the right word? I feel like
contentious. I think that's a good word.
There's a lot of animosity. There might be a battle royale by the end of this one. But thank you again for joining us here on another beautiful night, or beautiful Saturday. We're starting to pregame early.
Gorgeous. 80 degrees right now.
Yes, and it's feeling good. Pat Lynch, the only one in jeans today. Bold choice, cotton.
That is a bold move.
Temperature is going to 70 tonight.
I know, I heard that, and I got a little nervous.
So really? It's going to be a nice night for jeans.
I was worried it was going to rain.
Check us out on Podcast S&P for Instagram and Twitter. We got a bunch of cool content going out there. Some cool guys, Chris. Where can you reach us at?
Miles Davis of podcasters.
You can catch us. You can interact.
I saw the little line on my Facebook memories. I posted Miles Davis is the Jimi Hendrix of jazz music. Don't talk about Cab Calloway.
We'll get into that story in just a second. You can reach us at the S&P podcast at gmail.com. We are brought to you by DLM Tax and Accounting. If you are looking for tax and accounting services, they are some of the best in the Northwest Chicagoland area, but they help clients throughout the United States. And if you got foreign issues, hit them up. You can reach them at dlmtax.com. Chris, where are we at?
We are on the gram of Insta and on the Twitters.
So thank you.
DLM is on the Insta.
No, he's talking. He was not paying attention to me at all. DLM Tax and Accounting.
.com.
No, it's dlmtax.com for all your tax and accounting needs. That's the business voice. How we doing? How's the week going? Oh, you know what? Joe hasn't been here in a while, and I wanted to bring it back to what the Saturday Night Pregame podcast is. This is a podcast about pregaming, and it is how I like to think about it is your friends get together and what you do before you go out on a Saturday night, and that's just you got stories of stuff that's grinding your gears, things that you saw during the week that you liked. We throw in some sport topics, reminisce about old stories like Miles.
Miles Davis being the Jimi Hendrix of jazz
but
music.
There's always somebody in that group that has no idea what your story, your group stories are, but they're still kind of funny sometimes. Not always, hit or miss. So thank you for joining us, Joe. We'd love to have you back here, Chris.
The fans. We're giving the fans what they want.
They have been clamoring.
The SNPPers have been fucking waiting for you. Oh, he did it.
Pregame.
That's jar in the swear jar.
All right, I'm gonna lock it in.
Yep.
You dropped the F-bomb.
Oh, the F-bomb.
F-bomb. Yep.
You know what? I'm so used to swearing that I don't ever catch it. Like, thank God you two.
No, I was reacting to Pat's catch, and I was like, oh yeah, that is it.
I didn't hear it, so you would have gotten away with me, Mr. McGraw.
So the question now, are we all not allowed to swear now to 15 minutes?
We're going 15. We still got to go to 15 because
Chris McGraw can swear as much as he wants.
You need it for the YouTube. You don't want to go over.
I do have Fireball.
Uh-oh.
You have a bad time, Chris.
Just as a...
Okay.
What other kind of whiskeys do you have?
There's
Tito's.
Oh, I got tons of whiskeys.
There's
a cabinet behind you.
You might have some J-Mo if you'd like.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe we'll think about that towards the end of the podcast.
Yep.
You think about which? You know what we'll do? We'll save it for your gram of Insta. We'll make it a little video of me taking my first swear shot. Because that's the first time I swore before.
Chris, you have one. It's one of the rare occasions.
Yeah. You have one beard hair that's going rogue on you. It's like right to the other side of your face. Every time I see your face, it looks like it's
Oh, it's pretty good. That's pretty good.
You want to touch it?
Get in there. Fix it up. Fix it up.
Oh. This shirt's ruined.
You know what's funny is I was thinking
ruined or made better.
Ruined. I don't know, Pat. By the end of this night, that shirt's gonna be all sweat and Chris's.
I'll start on the way home.
You're gonna get that waft of fireside beard oil, and you're just gonna, damn, Chris was here.
You know, he's gonna be walking by the ladies, and they'll go, "That's a man with class."
No, Katrina. Pat's gonna get home tonight, and Katrina's gonna. Oh, baby, get over here. Get over here. I saw that.
Is that guilt and shame? Oh.
All right, well, I don't want to give up on that story of the Miles Davis.
That man did not like me.
So this is back. It's got to be at least 5 years, huh, Chris?
I think it's longer than that. Yeah,
we were still thinking cabs.
Yeah, that's true. This is before Uber. That's where we're old, but not that old. And so this is when we're taking a taxi ride home. And me, when you're a little tipsy, the best thing in the world is if you got a good taxi driver or an Uber driver, Lyft driver, is just to talk to them.
And it was a very long cab ride because the guy drove 20 miles an hour.
The guy we never took the highway, right?
We took the highway. And we were in the far right lane on the highway.
Going as slow as possible.
We literally didn't get above like 35 miles an hour on the highway. We're on the highway going 35.
I might have been able to bike home faster.
Like 2:33 o'clock in the morning. And this guy's just like, I'm going to talk about jazz music with Peter the whole entire time. Oh, yeah. I was like, just hit the fucking gas.
And I had one jazz guy. I had one jazz guy in my head. And I was waiting for it. I was waiting for the opportunity. And I was like, Miles Davis is the Jimi Hendrix of jazz. And I could see.
He said that.
No, Peter said that.
And I remember looking at Pat. Pat's dying. He's like, what are you talking about? Like, where did that come from? Mm-hmm. And then in the morning, Pat texts us. He's like, really? The Jimi Hendrix?
No, the best part is Pat's in the back. He's like, wasn't Minnie the Mooch like a jazz song and everything?
Yes,
and the guy's like, you're talking about the Gooch, Cap Calloway. That's a whole different subject. Shut up, little
He shut me down so hard. So hard. He's like, you talking about Cap Calloway.
Yeah.
Minnie Mooch and Cap Calloway are not the same person. They're not? Shut your mouth. No, they're not.
Could I just say, I hate small talk so much, but then with Uber rides and taxi rides, you have to make the small talk. And when you're just trying to be polite. That's the whole thing. You're trying to be polite. And then you throw out what little nugget you have, pretending you can actually make some sort of connection with this person and say, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Throw something out and they're like, shut up, kid.
I thought I got the layup here. I got the layup.
I mean, I thought after Peter McGraw drops the Miles Davis and Jimi Hendrix, I'm like, how hard could it be to get him this conversation?
that guy was the Kevin Matumbo. No.
That's like last night we went night golfing and Pat goes, it's so difficult that I don't. How did you say that?
I said it's weird chipping because you can't really see what the lie of the ball is, like how deep it is or how it is. Joe's like, well, I don't even think about that.
I was like, that's a level of
golf.
That's a level of like complexity and knowledge that is far beyond my reach. And as simple as that may be for someone at that level, I was like, I have no clue. And Peter just happened to drop a bomb with the Miles Davis thing to connect with this guy, and he's like, "Oh, this guy knows what he's talking about." And not only does he love jazz, but he's got
class, man. He's class. He's all class.
He's crossing boundaries in music.
And this little child tries to come in and talk with adults. He's like, "No, baby, get out of my face."
Not a fan of Cap Calloway.
Pat basically goes, "I like trumpets," and they're like, "Shut up, back in the
get in line,
get out of line." I kept thinking, I had two thoughts there. One was,
we're gonna die on this car ride. Yes.
This brought up two other stories in my head. One was when me and Pat were in religious class. Like we went to the Paul together, and me and Pat took a lot of classes together, and we took this garbage Tuesday night. You'll never forget it because most of the time me and Pat would watch Cubs games in the back of the class.
Those of you watching on the internet for free back then.
Yes, yeah, it was garbage, and I actually, we did the homework to at least get, pass. And I remember reading the homework for that night, and there was all discussion. And this dude was like 30 years old, thought he was the religious leader of all religious leaders. And there was something.
He was the Jimi Hendrix of religious teachers.
And so, he asked for an opinion on something, and I rose my hand, gave him my opinion. He's like, "No, you are absolutely wrong. Like that is not."
No. The better part of that story is as you raise your hand, you're like, "Don't do it."
Yeah. No, he's right. Yeah. Pat's like, "Don't do it." And I'm like, "What do you mean? I got this, Pat.
Can I ask what does this teacher look like? Because I had a teacher at DePaul.
I don't remember anymore, to be honest.
I actually do, but yeah.
That was a lot of.
I'm trying to think if I can correlate it to somebody.
Did he have a shape, like a kind of buzzed haircut?
No,
glasses.
He had black hair, like it was trim cut, but it was like he had a thick bush hair. But
because I had a
coiffed.
It was one of my
coiffed.
It was one of my last
Queefed.
classes at DePaul, and it was in the actual like Barnes and Noble's building where you go downstairs.
Yeah.
And it was.
Oh, it was in the one of the basement rooms.
Yeah.
I had a math class down there.
Yeah, like right next to the little store there where they sold supplies and books and stuff like that. But there was a class there where there were people. How do I put this? It was like the internet before the internet, where you'd have people comment and then it would just shot down like you're wrong, you're dumb. Blah, blah.
Yeah.
But it was the teacher doing it. And he would just, like, there'd be no reason to speak up and go against anything this guy said. Like, if he was on a rant, and he would get so loud, he would spit.
Oh.
And he was a younger guy, maybe in his 30s, early 40s.
Sounds about the same guy we had.
But God, I was like, you're not,
there's no reason to participate,
You know who he looked like, honestly? Who's the big commentator that Dana White doesn't like for MMA?
Oh, Ariel Helwani?
He kind of looked like Ariel Helwani with glasses.
Yeah.
And,
that's good, Chris.
Yeah, thank you. And man, I remember once I said something early on in the class and I was like, all right, this is a class where I don't say anything. Yeah. I'm writing my papers or whatever I have to do, work assignments.
Just to get out of here.
Just to like match what this guy's saying and then get out of there.
Yeah. I literally felt like I was reliving the scene in Billy Madison where the guy's like, we're all dumber for having listened to you. Please shut your mouth and sit down.
Yes. And I go to Pat and I'm like, yeah, I'm never talking again. Get the laptop.
Come scored.
Yeah. Okay, and then the second thought I had on that was because that was one of the longest that when we were talking to that guy about jazz, it was a fun conversation. We were all
it was an hour car ride home. It should have been 15 minutes.
But the one I think about is when me and Joe went late night.
This is exactly what I was thinking.
And we got stuck on the highway.
Yes. And it was like 4:00 in the morning.
Yes, it was like, so we went out to, I don't remember what bar we went out to, but we went out really late.
I think we were probably at Social 25.
Yes, and me and Joe were like, we just want to go home, we're done, it's over. Like,
I mean, we closed the bar out.
Yes, absolutely.
So it was
a really good
time. Night.
But so we're on our way back. So we got an Uber, very cheap Uber. It was the golden days.
Yep.
And we get on the highway and it's literally stopped. We're like, what?
We get like
just
past, I think like maybe Fullerton or something. Or maybe not even that far. Maybe like North Avenue or something. And then it comes to a dead halt.
Yep. Just complete stop.
A dead halt. And we're like, oh, maybe there's an accident. It'll clear up. Yeah. We'll get past.
Nothing.
I can't remember how long we were on there.
We didn't get home till like 6 in the morning. I remember the sun.
The sun was up.
I'm so aggravated because the worst part of that is you got to get at least 6 hours of sleep. So you're not getting up till 2 o'clock for sure.
Yeah. It was.
Your Sunday's wrecked.
Wild.
And then, we Google it, and it was really sad part of it. Like, so we're whining, bitching, right? The worst part of it was a murder-suicide.
Yep.
Guy was driving his wife to work in the morning, and she was on the commute there, was telling him that they were getting divorced, and he's like, no, we're not. And it was bad. I did feel even worse. I was pretty hungover. I felt 10 times worse.
Nothing will ever beat that Polish party we went to, in the suburbs. And we're like, Peter's playing master DJ in the background. Me and Pat are just playing awful. Like, everybody's playing awful beer pong.
Sandwiches, yeah.
Dude, and these guys also maybe 7 people at this party.
And there's like the 3 of us downstairs and then some random girl, and all we're doing is just playing beer pong. And Pat and Peter's playing DJ, and Pat and Peter are just going to town on these little sandwiches that they made.
I have. Okay, so
we also got home at like 7.
So Peter had we left
there
at like
Pat's house.
5:30, dropped Pat off.
The UV blue.
And then, Peter had to get up. We got home at like 6 and Peter had to be up at 8 to go to work.
Oh
shit. The best part is
you were working at Walgreens?
Yeah.
The best part is we get out of the car, we're walking up. We bought some drinks. We get Pat, pick him up. We're going to the front door. He's like, should we grab the UV blue? And I'm like, we're going to a Polish party. You bring that in there, they're going to laugh us the hell out of here.
But this is also when we were broke and like UV blue was like $5 and we're like, we're going to look cool. We're going to have a little handle. It's going to be so cool.
And then they walk in and they got nailed with shots of spiritus within the first 5 seconds. like, you got to take one of my
No, it wasn't you got to take one.
Like,
You got to take. Then they'll take one for you,
Yeah.
and then you like 5 shots later, you're like, where am I?
I'm gonna tell you a very embarrassing story for me. So
Somebody to choose from.
yeah, there is
Listen,
a
we all
plethora.
got enough very
There
embarrassing
is-
stories. Somebody might have broken a club over his leg last night. Do you want to talk about that? Yeah, we all got embarrassing
Oh,
stories.
did that actually happen? I was like, I felt like I heard.
Oh, I
It
It was somewhere between the 13th and 14th swing.
didn't want to ask, and I was like, oh,
I also
man, it was
so, but
such
I didn't feel so bad because when I had slammed it down one time, the club head actually had broken. I didn't know that until I snapped it over.
That's what So okay, I thought
Yeah.
maybe the club had broke when he hit the ground.
Not a very smart.
I thought he was going to throw it in the woods, and then he went. and the best part is, like, the club had had fallen off, and he picked it up and put it back in his bag. I thought he was going to pick it up and chuck it. And I'm like, no, put it back. Okay, that's
very,
it.
very politely. Hopefully nobody saw that, Lundeen. Yeah. No, go ahead, Joe. Give us an embarrassing story. So you feel better that I'm an idiot.
Big. I not that I'm some like anything.
You're everything, Joe.
But I was really, really nerdy in high school. Like, really nerdy. So I never went to any house parties, none of that. It wasn't until I graduated high school that I went to my first house party with my sister and her friends. And it was in a basement. And I was like, oh my God, this is the thing you hear the cool people talk about. This is the thing you see in movies. Like, and I go there, and I don't think I was drinking yet, or maybe I wasn't a big drinker.
Joe was taking shots of vodka like he normally does.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go streaking. Come on, the gymnasium.
Yeah.
Kind of
But
cold out here.
I remember I had the most awkward interaction with a girl ever, where it was like it was this girl who was like in the basement, and I remember, and the only reason I remember this is the DJ was going wild, like, and I'm just thinking of you and the DJ. There was some guy, and I mean, he was playing bangers. Like, he had the whole.
No, Peter's not
He
playing
had the
bangers.
whole.
Peter had
basement.
the one headphone thing only going.
Yeah.
Got to get the one headphone
Oh,
if you're a really good DJ.
I mean, it was absolutely fantastic. It was so much so, but at one point during the party, we had to like all quiet down because cops were driving by, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is what it's like to be cool. These are what all the cool kids do." And and I finally
Clearly not the cool kids here at this party.
No, I know. And
Joe was the coolest.
oh, I was a cool kid.
Joe's the mild days
Yeah.
in this party here.
Yeah. And I remember I thought it was like one of my sister's friends mentioned, like, "Hey, that girl just mentioned me that she's into you." And I was like, I had no
The
experience.
greatest night of my life.
Yes, 100%. I was like, maybe I'll finally get to kiss a girl. And I was
I've
like,
seen it in so many movies. Like, this is gonna happen.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
but here's where it gets
Didn't
gets
happen.
bad, because I was like, I don't know what to do. I was not the conversationalist that I am now.
Yeah, you're
I
still
was-
not the conversation.
Yeah.
You just wear them down to oblivion, but nowadays, Joe.
Listen, I do okay.
Yeah,
I
true.
do okay.
He's okay.
But at that moment, I was like, do you want to go upstairs and get a drink? Like, instead of just having a conversation,
It's okay.
it was it was so bad. I mean,
You
that
just
was
want to
it.
go to my Cadillac real quick?
Basically went upstairs.
I know a good spot. In the
There was
woods.
no beers anywhere in sight.
How do you like that agua?
Yeah, and so I was like, and she's
Yeah,
like, I'm gonna
stop.
go back downstairs, and I was like, God. And so it wasn't for like another 7 years until I had another conversation with a lady.
This is now the worst night of my life ever.
We could make a movie about that. Actually, it sounds
Oh.
like every teen
It's
movie
been
I've
done
ever
already.
seen.
It's been
I would
done.
have been, I would be like a B story of that thing, like
Just a little section. Yeah.
subplot.
Listen,
yeah.
we all you gotta get there.
I remember
Oh,
Frank and
yeah.
I were in Iowa once. We were at a house party that was broken by the cops. The cops came to the door. And me and Frank, we were 20 at the time, so we were underage. But so was like half the party, so like whatever, they're not gonna arrest us all, right? So people started like freaking out and started booking it out the house, like booking it like left, right, windows, doors, all kind of shit. And Frank said, just chill. I'm like, what do you mean just chill? He's like, we'll wait like 5 minutes, we'll just walk right out the front door. I'm like, so we hide in plain sight? He's like, exactly. I'm like, it's not gonna work. It will work. So we wait like 5 minutes, walk out the house, walk past 3 cops, nobody stops us. I look to my left though. This girl tries to jump out the window. Cop goes to taser her. She gets tasered like the back of the neck, like right in the forehead. Down she goes. I'm like, fuck, you didn't see that? Walk, just keep walking. Talk about it later. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, I don't want to go into too many of the old school stories.
But it was great though. It's true though, because like if you freak out, those are the ones the cops chase. Yeah. If you walk right to the front door confidently, nobody even stops you or cares.
Yeah, it's that calm,
so young kids
collective.
listening to this, calm and collective. Don't if you freak out, you're gonna be the first to go down. Honestly, it's always. And
also, don't be teasing the neck because you look painful as shit.
Oh. Not to beat Conrad's birthday party at his parents' house, where the cops came and his dad's like, nobody's drunk here, and then he falls down the stairs pulling the banister out of the wall.
Wait, the dad do it?
Yeah, his dad did it.
I'm 21, it's okay.
The cops are like, everybody who's 21 on this side of the room, everybody who's not 21 on that side of the room.
And everybody goes to the one side of the room?
Yeah. I was literally a day away from being 21, too.
Yeah. No, we've had our share of meeting cops.
Yeah, I've been 6'6" before.
Yeah? We've always met, the good old days. The good old days when...
No, 6'2", 6'2", because you were like, I'm 6'4", he's 6'2", it's good. I guess a liberal 2 inches, Chris.
The good old days where it was, half the fun was not getting caught. Like that was like half the thrill. Like you know you're not supposed to be doing this, but there's a chance. Until you run from the cops for 2 hours, and then you're like, I don't ever want to run from the cops again.
Holy shit, you had to run for 2. By the way, we're at 21 minutes, so we can cuss.
Hell yeah, get it, baby.
Get all the fucks out.
I think Joe beat Joe joins Chris in story time.
Oh, did I cuss?
I thought you did. But
you're gonna have to go back and you have to review the tape because you can't. You got to call them out in a minute, baby.
Yep.
It's a long story, but there was a time in Bartlett. Yeah, Bartlett.
Yeah. Patriot episode right there. Peter runs for
it's Barrington, I think.
No, Barrington, yeah, absolutely. And Barrington's just their cops have nothing to do. So breaking up a high school party was fun for them. But we were outside when they broke the party up, so we just ran around. But it's all cul-de-sacs.
Oh,
so we got completely.
This is before GPS.
Yes, this is before cell phones. Everything. We just got completely lost.
Times were so different back then. Like if you didn't know where you were going, you were fucked.
And then I remember one time, like, a squad car just stopped at the corner. There was a bunch of kids just hanging out in the corner who had gotten away from the party. 2 squad cars come to the corner. We book it, and the cops are coming. And I literally remember looking back to me, and I'm like, holy shit, there's actually a cop chasing me right now. Fuck. And then I had a buddy who was a smoker, and he looks at me and he's like, I can't keep going.
Sucks for you.
I was out. So he crouched behind a bush. He's 6'4". Mm-hmm. A bush that literally could have been 4 feet tall. Like, so he's down here, and I'm like, he's done. There's no way. He's done. And then another big buddy who he's like 300, he's like 2 feet wide behind another. I'm like, these guys are done. So, okay. So then I hopped the fence. I lost my shirt somehow. I hopped the fence. I find one other buddy, me and this guy, and, somebody lent me a shirt. We camel crawled, there was a little bit of a swamp outside of the guy's house. There's 9 squad cars in front of the cop's house. I was like, Jesus Christ. We're from the city. So the cops didn't give it. They had real things to do.
Yeah.
They'll send a cop by once they're done with the gun.
Yes. Yeah. No, they'll come by and be like, hey guys, you got one chance. This is it. Shut the fuck up. That's it.
Yeah.
That's every time we ever got busted in the city of Chicago. It was like, hey, no drinking and driving. Cut this shit now. No, if we come back again, you're going to have some issues. And, and we ran at the end of it all, we were just walking around aimlessly trying to get, we did have cell phones, but you couldn't, the cul-de-sacs didn't have great cell service. Yeah. So we're trying to find, and we just ended up, everybody that was in our group was in, one buddy drove. They were all in the car, and we just caught them somehow caught them on a corner, hopped in, and got the F out of there. And we just went home and partied, and it was it was an insane story.
Yeah.
But the guys who got caught, they all got $400 drinking tickets.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
But I remember writing that story in college too. It's one of the literature stories. You want a visual, a very you could really get into the details of that story.
Yeah. It was kind of like the Christmas story when the kid writes his teacher the thing for the for the
BB gun.
Yeah. And then she ended a stupid story. It's never gonna happen in my life.
You know what's funny? The teacher's like, this is very it's a good story, but he's like, I don't know if it's college appropriate. And I'm just kind of now thinking about it, I'm like, I probably shouldn't talk about the time I ran from the cops. Maybe not do that. But I thought at the time, it was because it was very visual. It was a little damp, it was a little rainy.
It had,
no shirt on.
It had drama,
it was cold.
there was tension.
Yes, it was kind of jokey, oh yeah, I'm running from the cops.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, I'm running from the cops. I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
I don't want to get tased.
You know you're not in Chicago, they're just probably shot you.
Oh. You son of a gun, you. And there's other jokes that we could go along with that, but I'm not going to go that route, Pat, because I like our podcast and I don't want to get canceled. Actually, to talk about canceling, I don't want to get into a huge thing, but if you want to look on like a good, like talk about the Tony Hinchcliffe stuff, what's his name? Andrew Schultz. And well, I forget the guy's name. He's from, Legion of Skanks. They did a really good talk about it. Like what he did wrong, what he did, and like how it could have been it could have been a whole different situation. How like the one guy was kind of cloud chasing a little bit. Yeah. And stuff like that. I thought it was a really good conversation about it.
I was actually watching a video today about Bill Burr, and it's all about the presentation of it.
Yes. Oh yeah, 1,000%. Yeah.
Because I mean,
it was horrible.
Bill Burr gets away with, and I don't want to say gets away with. That's a poor choice of words, but
he knows how to craft
a lot
joke.
of things he says could get him canceled.
Most things.
Yeah.
I love that skit with the pumpkins.
But you know, like he does it in a way that comes across as very comedic. You know, he's joking, and I think that was the issue with Hinchcliffe. Is like he said stuff and he's joking, but because of the way he said it, or maybe the tone, or the lack of jokes in between, or you know,
no, absolutely,
it's like it's purely a perception thing.
1,000%. And that guy, the issue, a little bit of the issue, I think I don't know if it's an issue, but like if that comedian actually had like an issue and went to Tony and said, hey, I don't, you know, I thought that was bogus. Like you shouldn't be using these words and that stuff. Instead of kind of just throwing it out there, not saying anything. And that's what Tony said. Tony said that guy never tried to reach out to him and talk to him about it.
Yeah.
But so there's a little bit, but it's not like.
There's also a part of it
could have been a teaching moment, I feel
there's also a part of it too where it's the audience that's getting, no, I shouldn't even say that. It's not the audience. It's the people who saw the video. Who are getting upset and speaking on behalf, which is its own separate thing.
Yeah.
But
gotta be internet famous, Joe. If you're not internet famous, no one cares.
You know what? I do get. So I did read like a little bit because you know we're doing a lot on the podcast, S&P, Instagram, Twitter, and I'm not gonna lie, I do love when we get a bunch of likes or looks and stuff, and that makes me a little bit nervous because there are people who are addicted to that dope, like that feeling, like like people just.
I mean, it's basically a slot machine.
Yes. Oh, 1,000%.
That's 100% what it is. Like, it's a slot machine. It's like waiting for that win, waiting for that. And instead of a win of like $1 or whatever, it's a like, it's a comment, it's and if you get a bunch of them,
so that's why I don't put the notifications on. Like I'll just go check later, whenever, and see like how things are doing. But we are up to 700 downloads. What? That's even though it might be propped up by somebody. But we're not going to talk about that whole
Peter Brown 650 downloads.
So okay, we've had a hell of a podcast just going around in circles here.
Transition.
Let's talk about the drinks tonight. I made the boys one of my because we're getting close to. It's not even actually summer yet.
I think today's the first day.
Is it
It's Monday.
Monday.
Really?
Yeah, it's not even summer yet.
I was literally thinking that. Kind of going back to what we were talking about pre-podcast, how fucking hot it is, like running. I didn't even think about it. I didn't even notice that it's not even summer.
People are like
they're baking.
Yes. Yeah. Like actual, like if you stay up too long, it's like, not that you can actually bake, but like your skin is like, it's like on fire.
I kind of have a question that I'd like to ask you, Peter, and you, Chris, because you guys do a lot of running as well.
Don't worry, Pat.
Yes, this is my natural skin color when I sunburn.
No. It has more to do with.
Bear's wearing a red shirt. If you didn't get that.
Well, they always say drink lots of water. Make sure you don't don't go outside your means. That whole thing.
Yeah.
And I think about maybe like 2 years ago was the Soldier Field 10 mile.
Yeah.
It was really hot.
Yep.
We saw people passed out, especially towards the finish line. I don't know. A part of me thinks it's a mental thing.
Oh yeah,
part of it.
Did you do this one?
But it's also like no. But when it's back up next year, Don't do it.
Big boy.
Don't do it.
Don't you tell me what I'm going to
do
do.
The worst run I've ever been a part of, Joe, was the year I did the Bank of America half marathon, or no, the Rock and Roll half marathon, and it was 92 degrees when we ran it. And
that's not the one we did.
No. This is before you started running with me. This is when we just started becoming friends, and it was Pat's that night. Pat had the black party. I felt so bad going. It was terrible. But the next day was 92 degrees, and people. I'm not like we're not towards the finish line, and people were just dropping. And like medics are everywhere.
Yeah,
they probably should have just stopped it. But I think you're right. Like I think it's more because like I was uncomfortable because I was an idiot and like soaked myself in water, and now you have an extra 5 or 6 pounds of water weight on you.
Yeah,
but you're right. Like I wasn't drinking water. I wasn't like I didn't feel like I was going to pass out at all.
I thought, because I think at that Soldier Field 10 mile, and most of the race you would see people kind of like stop running and they'd go off to the side, but they'd catch a breath, kind of like how you do after a run.
Oh yeah.
They didn't look like they were going to pass out. There were tons of medics on that race. It was a hot day. A guy literally died.
Yes,
remember, we saw a guy trying to get resuscitated.
Literally died and brought back to life.
Yep.
It was insane. That room, like not that, like it just sobered the moment so much. We're like such a high. Like
you get the runner's high at the end of it. You're like, I fucking did it, yes.
And then the dude passed out. We're like, oh shit. And then people, like some ladies, like boom, hit him with it. Yeah.
Did he live?
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
he was alive by the time he got to the ambulance, but they were.
Oh yeah. But I wonder though. And what makes me think about the mental part of it is so many people towards the end of that finish line, it almost like they I don't want to say gave up. That's not the right word. I don't know what the right word is, but it seemed like, I'm at the finish line. I'm almost done. And then that's when their body just shuts down.
A lot of them do. You're right. It's right before 1,000%. Like,
because
you mentally you're like, I just got to get there. I got to get there. And then you get close. So many people pass out right before the finish line.
It's kind of like when you go to the bathroom and you go to
the
house.
Yeah,
your body knows where it's at.
I think that is a great I think that's what it is. It's like you think.
Come on, hold on, baby. Hold on.
You're ready. I mean, dude, that's a long run and it's a challenge and
I think a lot of people think they can do it. They don't. I don't know.
That's another thing.
I don't want to judge people, but
yeah,
I do feel like a lot of people just don't train enough. Like they just sign up for things and then
I don't know how we got to this.
Well,
sorry.
What's the one guy's Frank's one buddy? He ran the marathon without any training. Like several times.
Well, Bert Kreischer did that too.
What's his name?
I know
Dan the Man.
Yes,
Dan the Man.
He did it.
Yeah, he didn't train at all.
That's insane. Bert Kreischer did that. He did the LA Marathon without training.
I think a lot of it is very much mental.
Oh, yeah.
I really, really do.
1,000. I 100% agree with you. It's like, how mentally strong are you? Not that you can't, but like if you're like, maybe it might be also a little bit taught. Like when we grew up, I don't know about you guys, but my mom never let us take days off. Like there was never like you're staying home. No, it's like you literally, Chris. This might also be like probably not the safest thing to do, but my brother had pneumonia, and my mom like sent him the day before like to school, and then he came back, and they're like, yeah, he's actually pretty sick. So he had then he got days off.
But your mom's offense if I had to stick
she was a nurse
too, I'd be like, no, I'm good. Send her at school.
My mom's also a nurse, and I think that's a little different too. Is where if your parents a nurse, you don't get any slack.
Yeah, you get someone. Yeah, someone in the medical field. There, yeah.
But I think that's just for me. It's like I never take days off. Which isn't always the best thing either. Like if you're not feeling well, you should, probably take some time. But I think a lot of people, like we had friends that like missed school, like 60 days of school, 30 days of school. Like
I remember in grade school, there was a kid who always came in either late or just didn't come in. And I didn't know, I mean, as far as I know, his family life was fine, but I think it was just like, it was that thing that the parents kind of didn't, not care, but they were just like, all right.
Yeah, you'll make
it up.
And does that build a little bit of more of a hardy mentality where you're like, there's no giving up.
There was like
just get over it and go on.
There was a study done years ago, saying that torture is actually easier to deal with when you know it's going to end. Like if you know you can endure longer because you know it's coming to an end, as opposed to not knowing and then it becomes almost like they did. I think the study went something like, and it wasn't like what's that place off of Cuba?
Oh, Guantanamo Bay.
It wasn't Guantanamo Bay level like torture, but it was they did some tests that could be done, and the groups, yeah, that was it, Pat. And the groups that didn't know
Pat always goes to the penis.
how long the torture would lasted significantly less versus the people who knew, hey, you have to go 10 minutes, or you have to go 20 minutes, or you have to go 30 minutes. Like once they knew there was an end in sight, they made it.
This sounds like a fun study to be part of. I tell you what, Joe.
Hey man, yeah.
No, thank you. No, you're right. Like that's
let's make $5 an hour.
But it's
a really good.
Here's like $50 gift cards at Barnes and Nobles.
Mental fortitude. The mental fortitude, like
is that
man,
yeah?
It's like he just like fuck it, I can do it. I know I can do it. I'll do it. Yeah, 20 a marathon,
25 miles or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, he was a college athlete, but still.
Yeah, but then Bert Kreischer he just did it. He was. Yeah. The problem is afterwards he was done for. He literally couldn't walk right for I think 3 weeks.
Well, that's like David Goggins. I mean, he runs ultra marathons and like crazy levels of hundreds of miles, and once he's he does it, and then at least in the beginning he did it, and then he would he talked about pissing blood. Yeah. And his wife was a nurse at the time.
But that's what happened to Joe Rogan too when they did that. They do their Sober October when they did the fitness thing. I forget what it's called, but it's where your kidneys are starting to shut down when you start. Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
But again, we're literally looping. I just for this podcast we started with a Chris, is it Babe Ruth? Lauren's gonna kill me for this.
Babe Ruth, yeah.
No, I think it's Chris.
I think it is a Babe Ruth.
All right, it's Babe Ruth. Lauren will tell us if we're wrong. And that is one of my favorite summer drinks. We're coming up on Monday. It's going to be the first day of summer. It's going to be
I can read it for a Babe Breeze is
thanks, Pat.
As a no, I don't think it's the it says no, it is. It's a cocktail that has sometimes served with grapefruit juice instead of pineapple juice. Though.
Oh, really?
Evidently.
I don't know if I'd like that. So it's pineapple juice, Tito's vodka. Love me some Tito's, and a splash of cranberry.
I googled
vodka,
pineapple, and cranberry.
Yeah.
Babe Breeze.
Woo! Yeah, baby.
There may be different versions.
Oh, a Sea Breeze is one with grapefruit.
Well, you can sea breeze your ass on out of here.
I'm just giving people some information that's not right.
And listen, so what honestly for me, what makes this drink is ice. You have to have a good amount of ice in there. You don't have a good amount of ice, forget it. You're just drinking pineapple juice.
Yeah.
The ice, a little bit of Tito's, a good shot of Tito's, good pineapple, and just a splash. You don't need a lot of just for coloring, baby.
So let me ask you, in this drink, how much Tito's was in there?
Just a shot. I know it's early on a Saturday. We're getting it going.
1 part Tito's, 6 parts pineapple.
We also have a big
and a splash of cranberry.
And a splash, just for color.
Yeah.
We're also drinking a little bit of the Colorado Kool-Aid. Hey, Coors Light. Just listen to us. I know you're listening to this podcast. You're probably thinking, all right, they don't have a lot of people. We're gonna get there, and you could be the first sponsor. Chris McGraw would love you.
Oh. Love you long time.
We have a Coors Light machine.
Yes, and we got real estate.
I am
that we can tattoo with
unofficial sponsor. Listen here,
we can talk in the back of the head.
We can talk. We can talk.
When you get angry, they'll turn blue.
Yeah. No, here's the thing. Jake Arrieta had to get a tattoo. He got one of those ones where it's clear, so that only under certain light you can see the tattoo. Oh. We can do Chris's back of his head, and then maybe in blue,
under the black light.
Black light. Chris Mountains Glow.
Maybe. I'm not gonna lie. That sounds like a really cool idea for a lot of tattoos. I didn't know that was a thing.
Mm-hmm. He lost a college bet with a teammate, and he had to get.
Do you know which college teammate who lost the bet to?
I did not.
Can we get a hint?
Kerry Wood.
He can get out of bed and hit any time he likes. Evidently.
Oh, Mr. 3 a.m. Pat's favorite player.
Yes, sir.
Tommy LaStella.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. All right.
Does he get out of bed anytime he wants?
Yeah. That was
except every time he's to play with the Cubs.
Oh. Okay.
When he was with the Cubs, Joe Mann's this guy can literally, you can get him up at 5 a.m. and put him in the batter's box and he'll get a base hit.
Nice. Oh. It's funny. That brings us up to a story that Pat was nice enough to send out is fantasy football. and bets and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And
I had seen this story like literally the day before.
Yeah, so did I.
yep, so did I.
And then it wasn't until you sent it that I actually read it.
The reason I wanted to bring this up is I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on
I would love to talk about this.
your thoughts on things like this, or like so. The story
This is
is
a huge thing. I always think of the league where they have like a punishment at the end.
So there's a guy who's in a fantasy football league, and he lost his fantasy football league, and his punishment was he had to spend 24 hours in a Waffle House. And every waffle you ate, you got an hour off your time. And in my head, I'm thinking like, okay, waffles can't be that ridiculous. I'm thinking like, I would start with
You're
10.
thinking Eggo waffles, pretty much.
Dumb
Eggo, I'm out of here, baby.
Dumb here is thinking, I can't be that bad.
Well, we live in
I'm thinking like a little square.
We live in the part of the country where there is no Waffle House.
Yes. So I don't. Yeah, I'm thinking like if we go, when we used to go, like our parents would take us to the Marriott. And
I bet you
waffle.
Golden Apple has waffles.
Yes, they do, and it would only take like a minute to get up.
Yeah.
That was the fastest service, by the way.
Dude, that would, yeah.
Insane. So I was thinking like a little square. I'm like, oh, just stack up 10, go to work. Then I only got 10 hours in here. It's not going to be that bad. Then I saw the picture of the 2 waffles he got that he enjoyed, and I was like, oh baby, like these were like medium-sized pizza style.
I still think Joe Keely's out of there in 8 hours max.
So I'd have to eat.
So
You'd have to eat 16.
Yeah.
he ate.
So almost double.
I don't know.
He
I
ate
mean,
9.
over.
He ate 9.
Yeah, so Joe would have to double that. I didn't see a picture of the waffles. I did not
It's
see
like
that.
a full plate size.
I'd have
Is
to.
it?
Oh yeah, no, Chris. Like I'm either a small pizza or a medium.
I'm not
They
gonna lie.
had
I'd probably be there for 18 hours.
They
then,
had to
because-
pick this place knowing that it was
course.
enormous.
Yes, they don't pick fun punishments for
You know what I thought about during this whole thing?
But I thought so. Go ahead. No, go ahead, Joe.
It is. What did the restaurant do? Like, dude, get the fuck out of here. Like, that's all I could think reading.
They were very
this.
cool about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a slow day, and there was like, and he tipped them very well. So good
Yeah.
for that guy. Good for these people. Here's the thing. I thought this was. I've heard punishments like getting tattoos, like wearing dresses and stuff. In my head, I'm thinking like, this is an okay punishment. Like, all right, I don't want to be sitting in a Waffle House for 16 hours,
Yeah.
but this isn't the worst thing in the entire
Do they
world.
have Wi-Fi?
Yeah. And I was thinking like, okay, like if you can come up with a fun punishment, maybe I would think about it. But that's what I want to bring up. What is your opinions on fantasy football punishments for the loser?
I mean, it's stupid.
Yeah.
Me too.
Because you're not controlling, you have no control in the outcome. Really, like, you can pick players and hope for the best, but so you pick a top guy and he gets hurt, you're fucked.
The first first top 3 draft picks of this year usually we're all out.
Well, like the 1 year, I think it was like the 1 year I got Tom Brady, and I think it was like 2009, and he gets his ACL torn in the literally a minute into the second quarter, and he's done for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And it's like, you have no control
I
over
lost
it.
a championship game because my guy got hurt in the first quarter once. Like, oh, there goes my running back. There goes the game. Like, I'm out.
Yeah. So I think it's, and I'm okay if it's something silly. Like
I think that
There's ones where the winner of the league chooses a tattoo for the loser. You know, he's not picking something fun.
No, that's ridiculous. I in my head it would almost have to be something.
You gotta spend 24 hours in a White
agreed
Castle, and for every
I can't even
slider,
stay awake for 24 hours
Yeah.
in a fucking
Every-
White Castle.
and for every slider you eat out of
I
a 30
stayed
rack,
24
you
hours
get
awake,
you
like,
get
Gotta get
you
the
get
back boost.
you
get
get
a half an hour out.
you're getting a half an hour out.
No, but like Joe
So
was
you
saying.
need 48.
I'm gonna get real
So you
drunk.
need 48
I'm
sliders.
gonna come in
Hot.
48
hot,
sliders.
and I'm gonna go box of sliders, please, that I know I
Right,
can't
knock 'em out.
finish, which is what I always
10
do.
hours.
And
And the
just
breakfast
try it.
sandwiches.
I did
and
that.
chicken rings.
Yeah.
No, and as long as they don't have mustard on them, I could do a couple.
No, Peter, you gotta go to Crystal for 24 hours.
No. Oh God.
I'm trying to think what we could put Peter in for like punishment that he would absolutely hate.
But I feel like there's like it's like it honestly,
Any like kid zone would kill me.
it honestly
He's gotta go to Chiquita.
it honestly
He's gotta go to Chuck E. Cheese for
you
10
have to
hours and not get
spend
arrested.
a day in Chuck E. Cheese.
And not get arrested.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
No, I'm trying to think like
You get arrested and restarts, Peter.
Yeah.
There's a level between. I feel like
Peter would be
there's-
like Sheldon in the ball pit. The Zynga, you can't catch it.
Yeah. I feel like there's like a line between a fun joke and then it almost turns into hazing.
Yeah.
Does that make
I
sense?
can see it making you wear something in the draft if you're the worst person. Like you have to put on like a shirt that's like I suck at fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you make it like a thing where
Or
it's
you
like,
buy, like-
you and your boys go out
Or
and
they
have like a night
I can see
drinking
something
out,
fun
and
like
it's
you
funny.
got to pick up like the 24 case for the draft party next, or
Yeah.
like you pick up like 2 cases of beer for the next draft party,
Or
something.
you pick up a tab you pick up the tab for whoever wants to go out for drinks, but it's like there's a
limit of how
like
much.
$100.
Do you have Pappy Van Winkle?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going there.
Yeah.
One glass of Pappy for 16 of us.
How much are the bottle? Just the whole bottle. Yeah, I'll take that. To go, please.
You know what's funny? I'm thinking about that too. Is the in Chicago, or I'm not sure if it's Chicago or United States wide, is the allotment that all these people got, and our buddy was super nice. And he let us know. So Thursday night,
Formal special guest of the podcast.
yeah,
Mr. Mike.
Michael Basso,
One of the most
Mr. B.
well-spoken
Oh, yeah.
individuals.
in this group, yeah,
Set the bar real low there, below.
Listen,
Bar
the
never high.
most well-spoken. I mean, it was...
He speaks them real good words, you know.
yeah.
I think we've done all right tonight. Chris got that one guy's name pretty well.
Yep. Ariel Hawani.
It's better than Israel Donajay for.
Yeah.
I think my phone crapped itself.
Oh no!
Do you want me to charge it?
Nope.
Oh,
back.
okay.
You know, it was just like I was pressing the power button. And it wouldn't
The
turn on.
old
Hey, well,
slap
hey, thanks
always
for being on your
works.
phone on the podcast. But we're not gonna talk about that right now. We're gonna let that go.
So don't make him angry.
I had to check up the updates on
Wait,
your face.
so we're on the book of faces.
Yeah.
Because he's got all them ladies on the book. And that's I got another thing I want to talk about.
No, No.
We're not gonna go. We don't have to go into certain places on that. But let's get back to there was an allotment that was given of Weller and some special whiskeys, and our buddy was nice enough, like afternoon of Friday. So it went out Thursday. Probably went out late Thursday.
He already got all his. Then he texted us about it.
Yeah, he got all the ones he wanted, and then he texted us and he's like, "Hey, go check your binnies." And by 2:00, I'm sure, like the word.
I'm sure by that Thursday,
Morning.
by like
that morning it was
yeah,
over.
they were done by nighttime. Yeah,
Can I just say, like, as a guy who's really into tech, really into tech, you know, like, they talk about, like, the new Xbox, the new PS5, graphics cards are really hard to come by because of cryptocurrency. I mean, you have to be so fucking on top of this shit that if you don't know within 15 to 30 minutes
You're
of
done.
it,
You're done.
you're done. I mean, and especially, and that's, I mean, if it's online only, you have to know beforehand.
Well,
So
and
you
I'm
have
sure,
the
like,
website
I'm
going-
sure, that,
but like,
I'm
in
sure that,
person,
like, I'm sure, like, some of these people, like,
crazy.
I'm sure most of these people have like some kind of connection with somebody at
That's
a store, and they're like,
most cases
yeah,
that's
hey,
how you're getting.
and then like, so like, if you get something from your one buddy at the store, you're going to all, like, you're hitting up like 3 or 4. You've got like a radius of where you're going to,
Yeah,
and you're
I
going.
literally walked in, went to the whiskey guy, and I'm like, hey, I hear there might have been an allotment of Weller out there, you know, is there anything? So I left, and the guy's like, guy looks at me like the Michael Jordan guy, you know, he shrugs it like, you know, oh, it's fucking done, buddy. What are you doing, you dumbass?
Yeah.
And the best part was there was 2 guys behind me. They were waiting, asking the same fucking question, and you hear, and they're like, "Aw."
yeah. I built a computer. I bought all the parts and tried to assemble a computer, and the only thing I'm waiting for is a graphics card. And so I've been trying to go to Micro Center occasionally to get in line and get a graphics card.
I see them every Friday morning.
Oh yeah, it is ridiculous. And I did it. I tried it once, and I got in there. I was waiting in line, and I was one of those guys where it's like, "All right, we're all out, guys," and I was like, "I'm never fucking doing this." Like, it's just like, this is too much effort. Like, to wait that long and put that much effort in to then get, it's like,
That's how we did a few concert posters. I'd be like, I'm in line waiting, I could see them like going, and like, and one time I swear to God, I shit you not, I was sitting there, this lady was in front of me, and she's like looking at t-shirts like, I don't know if this will fit me. Can I see that one over there? And I'm like, I'm about to be like, just whacked to the face. And the poster saw literally like went to the person right to next to me, like, and I'm like,
Stop.
there it goes.
So there's multiple lines. This lady just like completely.
Yeah, she's just like, can I see that t-shirt?
Pass back there. He's like, listen, save me one of those posters, please. I just want that one.
I'm like,
I want that one.
I'm
Right
like, little lady, I'll buy you all the shirts you want, all of them. Just get out of the way.
Yeah.
Get out of line. Get out of line. No, that's last night. Last night we did night golf. Had a great time, and we're going out for dinner. We're gonna get the famous slinger. But unfortunately, it was a Cubs game. It's just too busy. So we go to the Golden Apple, 24-hour diner, good food, and but it was also busy. And I remember, and we're parking, and I see a couple walking in, like halfway through. They just parked. They just took our spot. They're walking. There's another couple walking. And I'm in my head thinking like, all right, gotta beat these guys. I don't want to because I wanted to go to bed. I was tired, but I was hungry. I'm like, all right, I gotta beat these people before they try to order or they get, just get in.
When you're in a parking lot in a restaurant and you like see what you look to your left, you're like, it's on, baby.
Yeah, let's go. Gotta get in there.
How are you sprinting? You'll find out.
So I want to bring up one thing. And Chris, I'm not asking you for I'm not asking you for any details on the date. Oh, Chris was lucky enough to get a date this Wednesday. And why I bring it up is Lauren asked me, how did the date go? Because she was excited for you. And I was like, I don't know.
There's a romance in the air.
I didn't ask anything. And I'm not asking you for that, but I want to bring this up because the same thing happened because me and Joe are pretty good friends. And like before Joe.
I hope so.
Before Joe met his.
Was Barry White involved in the date, Chris, at all?
Yeah. Before Joe met his girl now, Joe would go on a lot of dates. Oh, and Lauren would ask me, so how was Joe's date? As a man, I don't care. Like, I'm not that I don't care. Like, I'm not.
No, I know what you mean.
It's not a thing that I've ever thought.
You just don't care.
No, because I don't give a fuck. I hope you have a great time. But do I give a shit? Absolutely not.
Like for guys, it's like the only time you're going to hear about it is if it went.
There was a good story.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. If there's a great story.
I'm not a question guy. So like my mom does my whole like last 15 years of my life has been the same conversation with my mother. It's like how's Joe doing? It's good. But then she'll ask me 15 questions about your life that I don't know any fucking clue about. Like, no clue. Not a question. What's he doing these days? Is he working? How's work going for him? I don't fucking know. He's employed as far as I know.
Legitimately, I think
he's not asking for money, so I think he's doing all right.
I was talking to my mom like last week or a week or two ago, and she goes, "Is Pat still working from home?" And I go, I think so. I don't know. I haven't asked him, but it's just like guys and girls are very different in that thing, like.
Yeah, she finally figured out that I don't ask questions. I just don't ask details. I don't care.
Yeah.
If it doesn't pertain to something directly.
No, it's not that you don't care, but
it's just like, if there's a good story, it'll come out.
Yeah. So Chris, so what's a good story, baby? Let's hear it.
I got one. I don't know if it's a good story, but I kind of found it funny. So I went and took her out for ice cream, Italian ice in Lincoln Park, and we walked around the area.
The LP.
Yeah, so we're walking around Oz Park over there, and she's like,
I have a great story.
She's like,
I have a great story, girl-related.
But she's like, it's kind of interesting, like most of my dates, people go out for drinks, and you chose ice cream. And like, we were talking about stuff, and like, so like, she's like, yeah, this is weird. Like, no, I know this is like an actual different type of date. This is fun. And she's like,
I did too.
I was really, and like, cause like, she's like, she thought that I didn't drink. So she's like, yeah, I was
not with that period, you don't.
She's like, I was really worried, like, when you like asked for this date and like didn't ask to go out for drinks and everything, I thought that you may not drink. And I was like, I don't know how this is going to work. I'm like, no, I drink plenty. Don't worry about that.
I might be an alcoholic, baby. Don't you worry.
Listen, let's go check out the trunk. I got a whole little thing here. We're good, girl.
Glass Cops is right over there. Let's take 2 blocks up, and we're gonna. I'll show you. I'm gonna show you.
They know me by name. They know me.
Chris McGoff's coming. Get the keg of course on the bar, doing keg stands all night.
Chris shows all the tattoos of the crowd around Kool-Aid.
So then we went to some patio and drank some beers.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
What patio did you go to?
Vaughn's over on Sheffield, right down from the river and
next to Med River.
Yeah,
or whatever it's called.
The river now.
Whatever.
The river. Now.
Same shitty bar.
Wow, you were all over the place.
Yeah.
Same shit. You want to tell me a funny story?
Hold on one second. Is there a second date on the agenda?
Possibly. Working on it.
I think that's a good call, though. What you did, like not going for drinks on the first date.
Yeah.
Like it is a good first date in terms of like. I mean, our big thing was always going
my stupidly was about to. I legitimately, my brain went lie and say, "You never took a girl on for drinks on the first date." Date always was drinking.
That was mine too.
I very
because it's good. It's easy to get out. Like,
that's true.
That's a good call too. Yeah.
My big thing was I would hit up Lincoln Park and I'd go to Del Sol and then maybe like Maddie's and then like a walk on the lake.
That's not first date though.
I would try to, yeah.
Really? On the first date?
Yeah. I mean,
look at this.
Joe, likes cupcakes, goddammit. This guy wants Korean tacos. Give him
I didn't guess that much on the first date, friend.
You
know what it is?
Not expensive. And then if that date, if at that point it's shit,
Joey,
you're not spending more than $30.
You know, Joe, I think I
Del Sol
figured
for
out
two
what's
people.
wrong with your dates the first few times here.
Hold on. Pat, shut the fuck up and let me finish talking.
God, we missed you, Joe. God, we missed you.
If you go to Del Sol, you're spending no more than $30, right? And you get to talk. And then my big thing is like, I don't want someone who's uncomfortable about eating. Like,
okay.
that
So
is
that's,
like,
I'm uncomfortable. I'm not a big.
I mean, Joey,
like I want to be able to.
I think eating's very personal. So I'm like,
it is, but it's like
I'm also sloppy as shit.
Like
so that's why.
There's a level
Peter,
to
you
it.
can't pick that piece of steak up off the side of the table.
Oh yeah.
No. I'm going to eat through that. Yeah.
You gonna eat that?
Here's how it would go. You go to Del Sol. You'd have some food, and then, or maybe like.
This is probably why I was single for so long.
You go to Del Sol. You have some food.
Joe.
If the date is still going well, you get to go get dessert. Girls always like that, or like whoever you're taking would always like that. And then if it's really going well, you get to a nice romantic like walk along the lake, and that's fantastic. I mean, and then you're just talking the rest of the night, and now you're like, all right, cool.
Small talk with Joe
a
loves.
big place I always used to go on the first date was Guthrie's. I mean, that was like a golden standard.
My thing was
They're back open, Chris. There you go. Day number 2. Go to Guthrie's.
Not yet. Are they? No, they're going to go.
They're going to open up.
Let's break in.
But speaking of Oz Park, there was a girl I went on. This is all like pre-COVID, maybe like 2-3 years ago. There was a girl I went on a couple dates with. I did like her. She didn't like me. So after like
Been in that boat, baby. Been in that boat.
Oh, story of my life. Listen,
Story of my life.
Listen. Up to this point, 100% of my relationships have failed. That's good.
Yeah. Me too, buddy. Me too.
So 60% of the time, it works every single
You know what's the
time.
best? Pat's got a he's a 1 for 1 right now.
That's a one-hit quitter.
He's batting 90%.
I had a lot of unsuccessful relationships in college.
Oh, okay.
So I was going on this. I went on several dates with this
Antonio
girl,
Banderas blow up. That was a real defeat there.
It was.
and she's like, you know what? I just don't feel like we're making a connection. And
But thanks for dinner.
And I was like, hey, thanks for being upfront. Because rather than the worst thing is to be ghosted and not know. I'd rather someone tell me like, listen, we don't connect. So I'm like, all right, cool, thank you. And I remember it had to be like right before COVID or maybe like 6 or 8 months before COVID. I remember I was at a gym and she texted me out of nowhere. She's like, hey, Joe. And I was like, oh, hey, what's going on? She goes, nothing much. What's up with you? And we're having a conversation and it's very like cordial and stuff. And
I'm back in.
And I was like, oh man, after 2 years or whatever, I literally went back.
Hey, you weren't so bad after got around the corner.
When was the last time I talked to this
She's like,
lady?
you're really not the worst of the worst.
Yeah. And
you bathe, that's good.
And yeah. And
you have all your teeth.
and eventually she goes, real quick question.
Oh no.
Joe's like, son of a bitch.
She's like, she goes,
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Which, she goes, your name is Joe. And I go, yeah, clearly. She goes,
we've established this.
Are you Joe in restaurants? I must have it must be like 1 digit off. Because occasionally I will get like restaurant business people calling me, being like, hey Joe, what's up? I got an order. And I'm like,
I would have so much fun with that if you put
I'm like,
I would have so much fun with that.
But he must manage like multiple restaurants across like downtown Chicago. And we got the same name and we're maybe like a digit or 2 off in the number. And she goes, oh, I thought you were the Joe in
I thought you were Joe the fishmonger.
Yeah.
Prices on some salmon.
And I was like, no. But she had opened a restaurant right across kitty corner to Oz Park.
Oh, okay.
And I'd always wanted to go to it, but then COVID hit, and I'm
sure it's not there anymore.
I hope.
Maybe.
I hope
Joe's on Yelp food sucks.
They put Target on one corner. That was kind of interesting.
I hope it didn't.
There's a Target on the one corner.
The Express Target, right?
Yeah, over right across the street from
right.
there.
They took out that fresh green place. Yeah.
So when you said Oz Park, I was like, oh man, I
That is a
remember
good
this.
story.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That kind of sucks, but
Yeah. I was like, all right, cool.
Hey, focus it.
Take care. Hey, wish you luck.
if you still want to go on a date, I'm here for it.
I was not going to say that. At that point, I was like,
Still available just in case you're thinking about it.
Poor Chris. And now I don't want to keep going on this because I don't want to put Chris on the spot, but Chris had a little bit of a delay in confirmation. And
that's the
that was just fucking terrific.
It crushed my heart. Like, I was so happy for Chris last week. And then he's like, I don't know. And like, he was telling me about it. And I was just like, oh, I do not miss those days. It's so tough. I feel for people because here's another thing.
The worst part of that is she texted me at 9:30 the night before, and I was about to go to bed. I was literally
Chris got that.
I'm like about to fall asleep, and she's like texting me. She's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, no, it's cool. Don't worry about it. I was gonna I was gonna text you in the morning anyway, just to follow up. And then she starts like randomly asking all these questions. I'm like, I just want to go to bed.
Are you a serial?
I want to go night night. I want to go night night.
I was so close to getting that good drool. I was so close to getting that good drool right there.
Pat needs one. Let's finish up with a
so
not to put you on the spot, but yeah, I just felt it honestly it crushed me because it just brings me back to all those times where you're working the game and it also I was listening to a podcast and it was for Dr. Drew and he was talking about I'm good and he was talking about how the dating apps have like made our generation, a little bit younger generation, not looking for commitment at all, or like they're just like people are just not really interested in it.
I don't think people are settling down till they're older.
Yes,
in comparison to
and they're not looking to make that full connection. Yeah. So like, and if you're a little bit more old school, you have that old mentality. It's if you don't get it like through like activities, church or something, and you're trying to do it on the dating apps, you're gonna fail. It hurts a lot of people.
I think we're in like a weird like middle group where it's like we're not quite Gen Z, but we're not like what's the group? Millennials? Yeah.
Well, before or after?
That's what I'm saying. Like we're kind of like in between.
Yeah, we're in the middle.
Where it's like very different. Where it's like Gen Z is like it's like going back to that slot machine mentality. Like somebody liked me.
Yes.
Cool.
So,
and then on to the next person. And then Gen Z's like, oh, you settle down, you get married, blah blah blah. So
yeah. And I was just, and it just hit me when I heard that on the podcast. And I was thinking, like, Chris, like, it's, you just, whatever, it is what it is. And things are going to change. People don't want to settle down as early.
Don't worry, Chris, if she's not interested, they're going to be coming at you on waves, baby.
I am.
I've punted the dating apps for right now. They're fucking just garbage.
You know what I do wonder, though, is if...
Put a cider on you. Single and ready to mingle.
These groups,
when they
do marry, if they're, like, married forever,
yeah.
Like they finally like settle down, they know what they do and don't like, and then they find the person. When they do settle down, they find the person, and that's like permanent.
Considering divorce rates are highest of all time.
Well, that's what I mean,
but I think that was COVID a little related.
You're married with someone that you can't get away from. That's a good healthy relationship. You can't spend that much time with them.
I mean, I'm trying to get rid of Peter for like the last 5 years, and I'm stuck.
I'm kind of like I'm kind of like
I filed like 16 divorce filings, and Peter's like, nope. No, Chris hell no. Chris is trading over to Greenford County. He's all out tonight. I tried to file in Tennessee. Tennessee laughed at me.
Boys, this was a fun one, Joe. Welcome back. We missed that energy you bring to this podcast.
Thank you for having me back.
Giving the people what they want.
They're gonna be super happy. Boys, this is a fun one. We got some real drinking to do. Let's get outside. Let's enjoy this weather. Again, if this is your first time listening, thank you for joining us. If you are an avid listener, we can't thank you enough. Check us out on Podcast S&P for Instagram and Twitter. We have a ton of fun stuff on there. You can reach us at the S&P podcast at gmail.com. Thank you, DLM Tax and Accounting. Check out dlmtax.com for all your accounting and tax needs. Anything else, boys? We all good?
Yeah. Make sure you get to the Instagram and wish Joe, Peter, and Pat a very happy Father's Day this week. Bye!